Now we are moving to session 1, Brokers Insights. I'm pleased to invite to the stage the moderator of the session, Mr. Saud Al-Naimi from Tabadul, and our distinguished speakers, Mr. Abdel Hadi Al-Saadi, Chief Executive Officer of BHM Capital, Mr. Ala Al-Zawbi, Senior Vice President, Head of High Net Worth and Retail Equities Brokerage at Ramz Capital, and Mr. Mikhail Novoselov, Executive Director at Freedom Finance.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Saud Al-Naimi. I am a senior analyst at Tabadul. I am honored to be the moderator of this session, joined by our distinguished experts. We'll start the session with Mr. Abdel Hadi. Mr. Abdel Hadi, from your point of view, could you please provide us with an economic and financial market overview and opportunities of Abu Dhabi?
Thank you. We have prepared a presentation. The first couple of slides, these are like more of a generic, So these are more generic figures that you can, these are public, you can Google them, you can get them from ChatGPT, but these are the actual facts about the economy of the UAE and the overall economy of Abu Dhabi. The important part here that to focus is the non-oil sector. They have, it consists approximately 56% of the total GDP for Abu Dhabi. In the last 5 years, the non-oil foreign trade doubled in UAE. And I think the most important factor here is to look at how did we reach there. Abu Dhabi is well known as very stable, resilience, and the foreign wise policy of Abu Dhabi and the foreign relationships of the UAE, it managed to put like a balance and to cause like, it's more of a stable and an investment oasis attracting foreign investments towards the region. And having said that, I'd like to focus more on the last couple of slides where we have more of an insight. Okay, now here, I think most of these numbers, Mr. Safar, thankfully already covered like about the ADX, the market capitalization and the growth and so on and so forth. So, but what I would like to highlight here is the IPO and the opportunities that we have in Abu Dhabi. It's not far away. I recall that when we reached the 1 trillion dirhams, the market cap, it was a celebration. And there was like rumors and people talking within like UAE that the market cap of Abu Dhabi Stock Exchange will reach to $1 trillion US. I believe we are almost there with these figures. And with the coming couple of conglomerates, let's say, it's Etihad Airlines and the 2.0, these two conglomerates, I think we will achieve that figure. And that's outstanding. Like, from going back like 3 or 4 years back to where we are now, it's a remarkable growth. For investors, and we will talk about how the investors will look at the opportunities for investors during the next. This slide in specific shows that we still, till this moment, we have approximately 42 companies, listed companies that are trading below their price to book value. You have 44 companies trading below multiple of 10 price to earning, and you still have companies, a 43 listed company trading, paying dividend yield of 5% and above. This is a huge opportunity for investors, and we believe that given the current circumstances, as everyone, I believe, heard about the positioning of UAE in terms of AI and the tie-ups with NVIDIA and the tie-ups with Microsoft and so on and so forth, there is a huge opportunity for a mutual collaboration. Thank you.
We'll move to Mr. Ala. Mr. Ala, speaking of market opportunity, please share with us Share your insight into the listed companies and which sectors in the UAE are currently most attractive for long-term investors.
Thank you, Saud. On behalf of Ramz Capital, I would like to thank Astana International Financial Center and Astana International Exchange for hosting us at Astana Finance Day 2025. As Mr. Sagar briefed, we have in UAE maybe more than 200 listed instruments in the financial markets. These 200 securities distributed across approximately 20 economic sectors. And these sectors, most of these sectors represent a very attractive investment opportunities for the long-term investors specifically. This diversification creates a value for the clients, enable them to build a portfolio that balance between the income generation and the capital appreciation potential. If we want to talk about the most and the common sectors which is preferred by the long-term investors, we can choose the most important, which is let's say 5 to 6 sectors among, and these sectors backed and supported by let's say attractiveness to the clients, because they are very generous in cash dividends, they are very strong fundamentally, and they are potential growth in the future. So if we talk about the energy and the utilities, we have examples of the listed companies like Gas and Tata and Diwa, which represent the most utilities sector. And they are very steady, they give a very generous dividend, and they are supported by the government. This enabled them to maintain their sustainability and their potential growth in the future. The second sector may be the financial sector and the banking sector. We have examples like First Abu Dhabi Bank and Emirates MBD and I think Dubai Islamic Bank. These 3 banks give a fixed, generous dividend every year. They are fundamentally very strong, and they are governed and they are compliant with all the international standards. If we talk about the technology and AI sector, we have international holding company, and Etisalat, which is the telecommunication sector, and the third one is Group 42, which represents the modern technology and the AI principles. If we talk about the real estate sector, which is the most important, and all the investors think about it after the banking sector. The real estate, we have 2 companies which represent the property development in UAE in general, AMR and Addar. These 2 companies represent the majority of the real estate sector in UAE. They have very, very strong potential growth because of the population increase every year. They have the geographical distribution and participation available, and they have also the dividend distribution. Then we'll talk about the healthcare and the logistics sector. If you talk about the healthcare, previously in the past it was not represented in the financial market. Recently we witnessed 2 to 3 companies specifically specialized in the healthcare sector. These are partnered with the government, they are supported, and they are growing very fast. Logistics sector also, it's very important in UAE. We have in UAE AB Port, which is Abu Dhabi Ports, which is considered one of the top players internationally from the logistics service providers. And all these companies have very strong advantages, potential growth, dividend distribution policy, which is stable and And the third one is the government support for all these sectors. On top of that, if we will talk about the board members and the executive management of these listed companies, they uphold the highest standards and the governance strategies. And they ensure the compliance with the applicable rules and regulations in the country. All these aspects consider the backbone of any investment, long-term investor to choose the investment for him.
We'll move to Mr. Mikhail from Freedom Finance. Mr. Mikhail, how do you see cross-border trading through Tabadul benefiting investors? Could you please also share some figures and numbers of your client investment behaviors and preference while using Tabadul?
Certainly. I mean, thanks for having me, and it's a great pleasure to be joining everyone here today in Astana. And let me start by saying that I truly believe that Tabadul is a unique project in its own right, a unique concept. And I do not mean it lightly, like a random accolade or a pleasantry, because I really struggle to find anything quite like it anywhere in the world. Of course, there is like Hong Kong Stock Connect, but it's very restrictive. It only has 3 exchanges, mostly serves like Chinese internal interests and so on. So essentially, Tabadul is a very unique thing. And you know, for a lay person, for a retail investor, international investing is often a huge pain. What I mean is invest beyond of America, Europe, or Hong Kong. Like if you want to enter some other market, it's a huge pain. Because first of all, wire transfer dealing with correspondent banks is awful. Going through all the KYC hurdles, awful. And we can go on and on and on, like tax implications, also not very pleasant, especially when we're doing this cross-border stuff. And that's why Tabadul is so great. When you can trade international stuff on many exchanges through your domestic broker without having to worry about anything, it's just huge. And that's why I believe this simplicity and the freedom that Tabadul provides is second to none. However, moving on to your second question, I do not think that all these cool features of Tabadul I just listed are appreciated enough by investors. Because you see, I checked the stats, and well, let me say the following. I have good news and bad news, as it always is. No ugly news today. So the good news is Tabadul works, and it works as intended. Our clients do trade on it, and seem to enjoy it quite a bit. The bad news, though, is that the total volume of securities traded in UAE dirhams is around 200,000. Yeah, I know. It's around $50,000, and that's the volume. Look, we are not counting AIX, just Kazakhstani investors trading on ADX. And to quote the one and only Matthew McConaughey's character from The Wolf of Wall Street, these are rookie numbers in this business, and you got to pound these numbers up. So, but that's exactly what they are. They're rookie numbers, and in the army vernacular, a rookie is a first-year cadet, right? And you never expect a first-year cadet to be able to command an army, to write a strategic treatise or something. Our Tabadul, and saying our because it's a thing that we created together, is essentially just a baby, a 1-year-old baby, right? And we don't, once again, we don't expect a baby to be able to run a marathon or solve a differential equation, right? We expect the baby to crawl and say mama and all, and it does that. And the cool thing that babies have is the potential, because the baby can grow into anyone he wants and anyone he can. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. Despite very low volumes, I see tremendous potential if we can deliver the most important things to our clients, to our investors, such as stability, such as trust. And that's exactly why I think that we're holding right now. Roadshows like that are extremely important, because without visibility, without relevance, it won't work. Our baby will not grow. And we all really want it.
Mr. Ala, from a Ramz perspective, what is the broker role in facilitating investor attraction and engagement in the UAE market?
From the broker perspective or from a Ramz perspective in general, the first role the broker should understand the investor's needs. Then, when you understand what the investor needs, you can build or tailor it what product or service you can provide them. You should know what's the time frame, what's the amount you want to invest, which sectors he prefer, what risk appetite he have. So all these things under the understanding of the client or the investor. Then you can start giving him the advice. You can give him the support strategic planning for the portfolio, give him the insight about the sectors, what's the profitable or what's the best in each sector. So these topics understanding the client's needs. This is number one. The second one, I think the broker or any business in general should maintain a sustainable and long-term enhancement of the relationship. You should keep him up to date. You should keep your software and applications up to date. Give him the accessibility. Give him the easy of use for your applications. All these things what the investor looking for from the broker side. Then there is one point also, you can call it social participation, which is the education. Educating the clients with the market information and the data is part of our job. A lot of investors looking for an investment, but they don't know how to choose it. They don't know how to distribute their investment. So educating the clients, give him the information, give him the data. This is also a very important point. Above and all, your trust with your client is very important. Trust and compliance and respecting the rules and regulation in all exchange in general, this will give the investor a rest. And he can invest with you peacefully. He cannot worry or there is no risk at his money or his investment, especially if he is a long-term investor. The market access and the multiple exchange also, this is a crucial point for them. Long-term investors, especially the institutional investors or the high net worth investors, they are looking in so many geographical distribution. If you give them this access in one application, one access point, this will be very nice for them. In Ramz, we call it digital shopping mall. He can go inside the application or the website. He can choose the service he wants. He can choose the geographic or the exchange he wants to invest. These components, the investors are looking main. And we, from our experience, we understood that all these points are very important for him to keep him with you.
Mr. Abdul Hadi, a common issue investors have is limited visibility and market access of available instruments. What is your thought on this challenge and what solution you have recommended to improve it?
Well, this is a very important challenge. And as rightly mentioned, for any investor to go and do investments, especially now we're talking about development, we're talking about someone who's living somewhere used to certain equities who wants to invest elsewhere. And that sort of ambiguity, that fear of entering into a new market, this is something that we need to break. And the best thing to do about that is transparency. The more transparent we are, the better it is. It's very well known that investors, whether retail or international, if they want to do investments, they need to feel secure, as my colleague here mentioned. They need to have full access to data, and I believe AIX in the past few years they've done a tremendous job of openness, allowing the digital access to all data available, digital IPO, digital onboarding of clients, and so on and so forth, adapting so much technology, AI, and having said that, this is already translated into actual figures. From what we saw, there is a consistent, tremendous growth year over year in number of accounts and number of foreign investments flowing into the country. So basically, the best thing to do always is to focus on the corporate governance part of listed companies, and this is done by the regulator as well as the market, in addition to the transparency. And I believe AIX have done a tremendous job, but still more to come as the word. Now everyone knows AI became the word, and this is the main topic worldwide. And I believe Mr. Abdullah, and he's one of the guys I know that the vision about the AI and the adopting technology, it's been there since I knew him. We've been talking about that.
Thank you, Mr. Abdul Hadi. Mr. Mikhail, what challenges have your company encountered in relation to the Tabadul project? And what potential solutions or approaches do you see for overcoming them?
All right. I believe Mr. Al-Zubi has already highlighted the importance of trust in building the relationship between the broker and the client. And I do believe that it's exactly the main issue that we encountered when starting with Tabadul. What I mean by that is when you offer a new product to a client, for this product to be just transparent, just open, is not enough. You got to be like 120% transparent if it makes any physical sense, right? Because even right now, ADX, I believe, is perceived as something virtual, not quite there. Take AIX, for example. There's a huge building in central Astana. You can go there, you can see the people and all. The same thing is true of, say, American exchanges. Obviously, you can see all the workings, all the gears shifting and all, but you know that Wall Street exists, there's a statue of the bull and all that. You kind of trust that because there is a physical location that you can be certain of. And that's why I believe the first thing that we got to do to increase investor interest in Tabadul is to speak more about the inner workings of everything, how depositories work, where do we store, where do we keep and safeguard clients' assets and all. I mean, we know they're safeguarded, but the clients really don't. So we got to be very, very open and precise about it, about every single new detail of where their money goes. Because obviously clients might be afraid that their money will go to somewhere in the Middle East and disappear, and we do not want that. Second thing, equally important, I believe, is visibility. And visibility in a broad sense, it's not just about listed companies or the instruments themselves. It's about the whole economic situation now. Because right now, I mean, the clients can find the instruments listed on ADX, but very often just finding them is not enough, right? You've got to know the context, you've got to know what the company does, how it operates. And if you are very intimately familiar with that, it's much easier. Because you see, even though our trading volume is rather low, the most popular companies are Preside AI and Abu Dhabi Commercial Bank. Why so? Because they're present in Kazakhstan. Preside has an office in Astana, and ADCB is located in central Almaty once again. People know them, and they buy them. That's always the case even with American companies. People buy what they know. And unless we tell them, hey, look, it's a cool thing, if you might be familiar with that, perhaps through a proxy, through a product, through something, they won't buy it. Because obviously they're cautious, and we cannot blame them for being cautious. People want to earn more and avoid risks. So that's the two aspects that are key and that we are not doing enough right now, and that we should be doing. That's building trust through showing the inner workings of everything, and it's building visibility for what we have on the market, how to get it, and how it relates to the economy and the needs of people as a whole.
Thank you, everybody. We hand it to Nazgul.
Thank you, esteemed speakers, for valuable insights.